Namaste, yogis. Welcome to the One Tree Yoga online series. Today, I would like to offer a practice of twisting. Twisting can encompass a lot of aspects of the body. So oftentimes in twisting, we also need to address opening the outer hips, the sides of the waist, the shoulders. We're going to do just that in this practice today. If you have access to a blanket, I'm sure you have access to a blanket. Doesn't have to be a fancy yoga blanket. It can be the comforter from your bed. Just grab a blanket so that you have a little something to sit on as we begin. And then if you have access to blocks, one block will be helpful in this practice. So once you've gathered your materials, fold up your blanket and just come to sit on the very front edge of your blanket. And then we'll cross the right shin in front of the left shin in the Sukhasana. Now, the common misalignment here is for the knees to go wide, more like a trapezoid. Instead, you can use your hands to manually assist. Bring your legs closer together. I'm looking for my thigh bones to be parallel to the sides of the mat. Take your fingertips by your sides. Push down into your fingertips, lift up through your chest. Just take a couple of nice full deep breaths into your wide open lungs here. Step your left hand out to the side. Stretch your right arm straight up in the air. Take a nice big full inhale, and then as you exhale, lean over, side bend here. Now push your left hand down, reach up with your right fingers, and rotate your right shoulder back. You might feel the root of your right sitting bone as it presses down into your blanket. A practice that I like to do is to let the right sitting bone lift up a little bit, reach more with the right hand, and then keep that extra reach and slowly lower right sitting bone back down. Really big stretch for the right side waist. Take 2 more breaths here. Actively stretch and reach. And then with your inhale breath, rise up. Keep your legs as they are. Take your hands out in front of you and walk your hands forward any amount. Now, depending on your range of motion, some of you will be able to bring your forearms to the floor. Potentially, you could bring your elbows to the floor and rest your head in your hands. I like to use my block so that I have not quite as far to go. Elbows on the block, forehead rests right in my palms. Drop, release through the back of your head. Let the back of your body spread nice and wide, and put your breath right between your shoulder blades. And several more breaths here as we complete this segment. You might walk your elbows out a little bit further, fold in a little bit more deeply. Find a smidge more depth in your pose. And with your next inhale breath, rise up. Slide your block out of the way. If you were using one, stretch your legs right out in front of you. Hands by your sides. Press through your heels. Flex your toes back towards your shins and squeeze your kneecaps towards your thighs. Dandasana. And then we swap over to the other side. So now we slide the left shin in front of the right shin. Once more, try to avoid that trapezoidal shape. Rather, go for square-like shape, shins parallel to one another, thighs parallel to the sides of the mat. Now flex your feet a little bit, press through your heels, fingertips by your sides, push down, sit up tall. Inhale, lift your chest, exhale, hold. Let's take several full breaths here. This time we take the right hand out to the side. Stretch your left arm up. Take a big inhale in preparation. As you exhale, side bend to the left. Roll your top shoulder back. Reach, actively reach with your left fingers. Put your breath right into your left side lung. If you enjoyed it on side one, you can let the left sitting bone lift up. Reach more with left fingers. Keep that extra length and then slowly lower left sitting bone back down. Oh boy. Pull up, inhale, rise up. Take an inhale to lengthen the front of your spine, and then as you exhale, hinge at your hips. Walk your hands forward any amount. Again, find a sustainable setup for yourself where you can be for 10 breaths or so. If you did so on side one, you can rest your head right into your palms. Settle here. Make a good strong connection to your breath. And breathe right into the space between your shoulder blades. And here's your last few breaths. A potential opportunity to deepen your shape any amount. And then walk your torso up. Once more, slide your legs out long. Push through your heels, push through your fingertips, lift through your spine. Pull your toes back towards your shins, squeeze kneecaps to thighs. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then just fold your legs in so that you have a comfortable cross-legged seat. And then take your hands together at heart center. Let's formally open this practice with a single chant of Om. Take an inhale. Om. You can make a small bow forward. And then release. Open your eyes. Okay, clear your props out of the way. And we'll find our first downward facing dog of practice. So plant your hands toward the top of your mat. Spread your fingers really wide. Tuck your toes, launch back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, dog pose. Let's just take 30 seconds or so to warm up your dog. So you can shift your hips side to side. Flex your toes. Maybe shake your head yes and no. Kind of just get into the body. And get some releasing movements under your belt. When you're ready to take a static dog, Just take a look at your hands. Make sure that your index fingers are parallel to one another. And then lift up high on the mounds of your toes. Reach your sitting bones away from your wrists. You can almost feel the weight shift back away from your hands as you do that action. Thigh bones stay pressing back. Hips stay reaching up. Start to lower your heels back toward the floor, but keep the sitting bones lifting. Press strongly through your whole hand and pull your kneecaps up towards your thighs. Turn all 10 of your toes to the right. Press into your hands, lean a little bit to the left. Flex your feet a lot. Lift through the outer right hip. Step your feet back to neutral. And change to the other side. Flip all 10 of your toes to the left. Lean a little bit to the right. Lift your outer left hip more. Step back to neutral and lower down to your knees. From here, you're going to swing both of your feet over to the left. I'm going to place the top of my left foot into my right arch, and then I sit inside the feet. I'm going to turn to face the camera so you can see how my legs are shifting off to the sides. Take your right hand behind you. Take your left hand to your outer right knee and start to turn to the right. Bardhadrasana 1. Now, pull up on the sides of your waist. Tap your right shoulder back and find your breath. As you inhale here, lift up through the front of your spine. As you exhale, pull your whole torso to the right. And keep your torso turning to the right. Turn your head to the left. Gaze over your left shoulder. You're going to pull your right shoulder back a little bit more to release through the right side of the neck. Use an inhale breath to return to the center, and then we swap to the other side. Doesn't have to be fancy, just swing your legs around. This time you're going to place the top of your right foot into your left arch. So you see your knees are sort of staggered to the right. Take your left hand behind you. Take your right hand to your outer left knee. Nice big inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, spin, turn to the left. Second side of twisting, I always find takes me a couple extra breaths to get into after moving deeply to the other side. So give yourself time to allow the left side to unwind. Slide your whole torso from the right to the left. And then turn your head to the right. Gaze over your right shoulder. Keep your left shoulder pulling back. Release left side of neck. And then use an inhale breath. Return to the center and return once more to your downward facing dog. Plant your hands well, that's the key. Spread your fingers wide. Curl your toes under, press back and up. Grip the mat with your finger pads. Push your mat forward. Reach, lift sitting bones way back and up. Take the tops of your shoulders away from your ears so you have a really broad space across your upper back. And then look forward between your hands and step your right foot to the top of your mat. Frame your right foot with your hands. You can come up to your fingertips here. Okay, now put a little bend in your back knee, squeeze your left glute, and then super straighten the left leg. Drop your right sitting bone low, lift your chest up here. Scoot your left foot back a little bit. Lower your left knee down. Take your right hand to the top of your right knee and walk your left hand a little bit more in front of you. Now crawl your left fingers out, push down with your right hand, stretch with your left hand, and sink into your left thigh. Come back to frame your right foot with your hands. Pick your back knee up. Push with your hands. Quietly step back. Downward facing dog. Reset in your dog pose. Take a couple full deep breaths. Second side. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Pop up to your fingertips here. Put a little bend in your back knee. Squeeze your right glute. Super straighten right leg. Drop your left sitting bone low. Push down into your fingertips. Lift through your chest. Then scoot your right foot back a little bit. Take your left hand to the top of your left knee. Stretch your right hand out in front of you. Crawl your right fingers forward. Reach with your right hand and sink your pelvis down. Walk your hands back. Frame your left foot, pick your back knee up, push off, step back, downward facing dog. This dog pose, take your feet as wide as your mat. Push with your whole hand, shoot your thigh bones back and up, and now actively reach your heels toward the floor. Really stretch your calves, stretch your Achilles tendons. Walk your hands back to your feet. Let's just hang here. You can put a soft bend in your knees, catch opposite elbows, release through the back of your head and your neck. Take your hands onto your hips, press your heels down, inhale, rise all the way up to stand, and step your feet together. Great. Come to stand in the middle of your mat, Tadasana. You can have your big toes together or your feet hip distance. Just take a look, make sure that all 10 of your toes point straight ahead. Feel your feet as the foundation of your pose. So root your heels, spread your toes nice and wide. Stand up really tall. Sweep your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, and then sweep both of your hands over to your outer right hip or waist. Pull your right elbow towards your left elbow. Stretch, lengthen through the left collarbone. Draw your elbows toward one another behind you. And then sweep around to the other side. Sweep both hands over to your left outer hip or waist. Pull your elbows together. Squeeze the elbows in and breathe. Keep your hands interlaced. Sweep your hands straight back behind you. Now start with bent elbows. Roll your shoulders back. And then without leaning forward, straighten your arms behind you. Squeeze the heels of your hands together. Try to keep your head on straight so don't distort through your head and your neck. And then any amount, lift the pinky side edge of your hands up. Really open your chest and the fronts of your shoulders. Well done. Release. middle of your mat. Take your big toes right together. Take your fingertips together and bend your knees. As you exhale, hop or step your feet really wide. Turn your right toes to the right. Turn your left toes in 45 degrees. Now let's take hands to the hips. Deeply bend your right knee. Try to sit your right knee directly over your right heel. Drop through your right sitting bone. Roll your left outer heel down toward the floor and slice your left thigh back. Stretch your arms out broad. Warrior two. Take a look at your right knee. Make sure it's not dumping in towards your big toe. Instead, steer it towards your pinky toe. Lengthen and release the inner right leg. Try not to grip the mat with your right toes. Really press down through the heels. Sit low. Let's change other side. Take your hands to your hips. Straighten your right leg. Flip your left toes out. Turn your right toes in. Deeply bend through your left knee. Now, if your left knee goes way forward of your left toes, your stance isn't quite long enough. So make sure that with a long enough stance, your knee can land right over your heel. Once more. Land your knee over your heel. Roll your right ankle towards the floor and shoot your right thigh back. Stretch your arms out broad. Try not to grip the mat with your left toe, so press down through your heel. Steer your left knee towards your left pinky toe. Hands to the hips. Straighten left leg. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer together and then hop or step your feet together. Tadasana. Let's do a bit of standing balancing. Step your feet to hip width distance. Turn all 10 of your toes straight ahead. Shift weight over into your left leg. Squeeze your left outer hip strongly in. You can see how my side hip literally pulled in as it activated. Turn your right toes out to the side so you externally rotate that right hip and then take your right foot to your inner left leg. Now, entry level position is just the kickstand on the floor. If you feel well balanced, you can take your foot to your calf or even above the knee. Try to avoid your knee joint here. Hands can come to prayer at heart center. Cast your gaze directly onto something in front of you and find steady gaze, steady breath. Let's change other side. Shift weight over into your right leg. Squeeze your right outer hip in. That's a gluteus medius action. So you want a strong butt for standing poses. Turn your left toes out. Externally rotate the left hip. And then place your foot either in the kickstand, above, or below your knee joint. Squeeze your standing leg super strong. Join hands together at heart center. Find steady gaze, steady breath. Vrikshasana, tree pose. And then release. Step both feet down. Release your arms down by your sides. We'll do one more standing balancing here. Standing figure four. Shift weight over into your left leg. This time cross your right ankle over your left knee. Then take your hands to prayer at heart center and start to sit your hips low, keeping your ankle crossing over the knee. As you may know from my previous video, I'm a terrible balancer. We do our best. Flex through your left toes. And sit as low as you can, maintaining your balance. With control, rise up to stand and release. Last time, second side. This time cross the left ankle over the right knee. Hands to prayer. Start to sit low in your right thigh. Flex through your left toes. And fold towards your shin. Come up with control. And release. Tadasana. Take your big toes together. Take your fingertips together. Bend your knees. Inhale. Exhale. Big hopper step. Feet wide. Let's return to our Virabhadrasana 2. Now we have more glute strength to work with. So we turn right toes out, left toes in. Bend deeply into your right knee. Here, make a fist with your right hand. Place it inside your right knee, and then push your knee back towards your pinky toe, but don't let it go anywhere. Tone your outer left hip. Keep that engagement. Take your fist outside your knee. Try to press your knee towards your big toe. Don't let it go anywhere. Tone your inner left thigh. Keep both of those strong actions. Sweep your arms out to the sides. Stay in your warrior 2, so don't side bend, but take your right hand to your right thigh, left hand to your left thigh, and stretch your right arm straight up in the air. Drop your right sitting bone. Reach up, up, up through the right fingertips. Now, start to side bend. Don't come out of your knee bend at all. Roll your top shoulder back. Squeeze your back legs strong. Inhale, pull up, rise up, hands to your hips. Turn your 10 toes straight ahead. And change to the other side. Turn your left toes out, turn your right toes in. Deeply bend your left knee. Start with your heel right over your right knee, right over your heel. Make a fist with your left hand. Start with your left hand to your inner knee. Try to push your knee back towards your pinky toe. Don't let it go anywhere. Squeeze your right outer hip in. Keep that action. Come to the outer knee. Try to push your knee towards your big toe. Don't let it go anywhere. You want the whole band of the hip to be active and strong. Then stretch your arms out to the sides. Stay in your deep warrior 2. Don't side bend just yet. Take your right hand down. Stretch your left arm up. Go for big length from left sitting bone to left fingertips. Then, don't change your deep knee bend. Start to side bend. Squeeze that back leg strong. So try not to sag in your back kneecap. Roll your top shoulder open. Reach, reach, reach. Pull with your top arm. Come on up. Turn your 10 toes straight ahead. Heel toe in a little bit, and then hopper step. Tadasana. Pause. Nice full deep breaths. And then bend your knees. Take your fingertips together. Hopper step, feet wide. Make sure you have that nice wide stance. So a good rule of thumb is wrists right in line with your ankles. Take your hands to your hips. Squeeze your kneecaps to your thighs. Roll your outer heels down. Straighten your legs. Pull your elbows together behind you. Lift your chest. Nice big inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Take your hands right underneath your shoulders. Push with your hands, straighten your arms, lift your chest. Ardha Prasarita Padottanasana, or half folding in the wide-legged stance. Continue to firm your legs. Try not to let your weight shift way back in your heels. Shift your weight forward instead, so you have an even distribution of weight in your heels and your toe mounds. Now lift all 10 of your toes up. from here, bend your left knee. Walk your hands slightly over to the left. So palms are still on the floor, but now you're leaning, reaching towards your bent left knee. Pause right here. And then take both hands to your outer left leg. You can stack one hand on top of the other. Pull with your hands. Draw your head towards your right toes. Now you can do this with a bent left knee to really focus the attention on the side of the waist. Or if you have the range of motion in your hamstrings, you can start to straighten your left leg. Spin your belly towards your left leg and drop your head any amount towards your hands. Let's release and change to the other side. Pause in the center, press your arms straight, squeeze your legs firm. Bend your right knee and just walk your hands slightly over to the right. Start here, pause. And then keep on going. Take both hands to your outer right shin or ankle. You can stack one hand on top of the other. Start to pull actively with your hands and drop your head towards your left toes. Again, you can keep a deeply bent right knee, really emphasizing side bend, or you can straighten the right leg, and then you have side bend hamstring combo. Walk your hands through the center. Press your arms straight. Lift through your chest. Before you come up, heel toe your feet a little bit closer together, and then put a small bend in your knees, hands to your hips. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hop or step. Tadasana, stand tall. Take a moment, close your eyes. Drop your tongue to release and settle into the base of your mouth. Slow your breath down, slow your heart rate down. Let's do one more of these wide-legged positions. This time, if you have access to your block, go ahead and grab it. You can just hold it in your hands as you step or hop wide. Turn your right toes out, turn your left toes in. If you have your block, set it outside your right foot. Now from here, you're going to sweep your left arm behind you. Use your right hand to help pull your left arm into the half bind. If you can catch your fingertips to the top of your thigh, you'll be in good shape. And then bend your right knee. So you start in the warrior two half bound. Then stretch your right arm out to the right, lean over to the right, and take your hand to your block or potentially to the floor outside your right foot. Press your knee against your block, roll your top shoulder back, and then you have feedback from your half bound arm to lean a little bit more back. Half bound Parsva Konasana. Squeeze your back leg strong, stretch through the sides of your waist. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Take your block with you. Free yourself from this shape. Undo your bind. Turn your 10 toes straight ahead and then all the way over to the left. Set your block outside your left foot. Take your right arm this time into the half bind. I like to use my left hand to help sweep the arm across the back. Bend your left knee, warrior two. Stretch your left arm out to the left. From the back heel pressing, reach, reach, reach to the left. Find your hand on your block. And then start to lean back against your right arm. Roll your right shoulder back, pull your navel to your spine. Squeeze that back leg strong and lift, lengthen through the sides of your waist. And then undo, rise up, come up. Turn your 10 toes in once more, heel toe a little closer together, and then hop or step, stand in the center of your mat, Tadasana. Close your eyes once more. Drop and release through your tongue and your jaw. Slow your breath down, slow your heart rate down. Okay, blink your eyes open. And then from here we'll come to sit. Let's sit on our blanket once more. So find that initial fold that we first sat on, and then come to perch right on the edge of your blanket. If you have your block, you can set it behind you. You might like it for a little bit of extra lift. And then we'll take the right leg out to the right and bend your left knee and step your left foot on the floor. Now notice I have this wide setting for my legs here. Take your right hand behind you. Stretch your left arm up. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, take your straight left arm inside your right knee. Pull your left shoulder back, right shoulder back, and then rotate to the right. Flex your right toes strongly back towards your shin. And puff up through the front of your rib cage. So wide Marichyasana 1 as a twist. And keep pulling that right shoulder back. Slide your torso any amount to the right. And then let's change to the other side. Take your left leg out wide, pull your right knee in. Your heel will come close to your right sitting bone. Take your left hand behind you, stretch your right arm up. Take a big inhale to lift and lengthen. As you exhale, take your straight left arm inside your left leg. Straight right arm inside your right leg. Flex your left toes, lift up tall, and then start to turn to the left. Just as before, you want to tack that left shoulder back. Let your whole rib cage slide to the left. Inhale, return to the center, and release through your twist. You can fold your legs in. Sit cross-legged for a moment. I'd like to show you this before we go into it. So you're going to take your right leg into essentially Sukhasana, that opening shape we started with. Your left leg is going to go into the half thigh stretch, or the half of Virasana. Now, I cleared my blanket here. You can't quite see that probably, but my foot is on the floor even though my hips are up on the blanket. If this is a difficult position for you, you may need to turn your toes out to the side in order to not be on the top of your foot if it's too much for your ankle. Okay, then we take the left hand behind once more. Right hand crosses the midline. I'm messing up my rights and my lefts because I'm trying to do it backwards for you. So let's try that again. You have your right hand behind you. You have your left hand to your outer right knee, and then you can pull back. Once you've established your twist to the right, I'm going to take my back arm, slip it behind me into a half bind. You may be able to crawl your fingertips to the top of your thigh, or just take the back of your hand to the side of your waist. And then use that feedback again. So the back arm in the half bind, you can lean back, spin your rib cage, twist to the right, Bardhadrasana 2 variation. Keeping as much deep twist to the right as you can muster, take your head to the left, gaze over your left shoulder. Let's change to the other side. Release your twist. And swap your legs. Take your right leg, left leg, into the half Sukhasana. Take your right leg into the half Virasana. My left foot is right up against my right inner knee. Then I start the twist first. So pull your rib cage to the left. Take your right hand outside your left knee. Lift through your torso. Once you've established your twist, then sweep your left hand behind you in the half bind. You might even use your right hand to help. Find a good setting with your left hand. And then lean back, spin your rib cage, twist, twist, twist. Keep your deep twist. Turn your gaze over your right shoulder. Release the right side of your neck. And then release. Come out of your deep twist. Fold your legs in once more to a comfortable cross-legged seat. If it's not that comfortable for you to sit cross-legged, you could sweep around and sit on your heels or on a block between your feet. Let's just close this practice with a seated meditation. So we did a lot of work to expand the sides of the waist, to lift through the spine. Let's just sit in that sensation, in that experience of nice, supple, tall spine. Rest your hands on your legs. Close your eyes. Unglue your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And soften the tops of your shoulders. Start to feel your in-breath brushing your nostrils. Your out-breath releasing your lungs. You can simply sit with the experience of your breath. So that feeling of the physical feeling of breath brushing in, filling the lungs, breath releasing the lungs, brushing out. Or you may want to just sit in open awareness of any sensations, perceptions, feelings that may arise as a result of practice, perhaps as a result of specifically twisting practice. Ever so often in your sitting, come back, remind yourself to be easy. So let your sitting practice be an experience that's enjoyable. It doesn't have to be done in a particular way in order to be quote unquote right. Let's just take one more moment here. Lift through the back of your skull. Settle in. And then let's meet the hands together. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste. From here, you could continue sitting, or you may want to take Shavasana. So you could just come to lie down and rest for several moments before you get up and move on with your day. Thanks so much for practicing.